Let's work the following applied problem. We'll use 3.1416 for pi. A water tank in the shape of a right circular cylinder is 64 inches in diameter and 3.5 feet high. If there are 231 cubic inches in 1 gallon, how many gallons of water does the tank hold? So to find how many gallons this tank will hold, let's first draw a right circular cylinder and label it with the information given. Then we'll compute its volume and convert the number of volume by using 231 cubic inches in 1 gallon to find how many gallons the tank will hold. So in our diagram we have a right circular cylinder, but we're given both R and H in this problem. But our problem was given both in 64 inches as a diameter and 3.5 feet high. So the height of this will be 3.5 feet high. But our diameter is actually 2 radii, or 2 radiuses. So this would be 64 inches from one side to the other. Since a radius is half of our diameter, that means that the radius would be 32 inches. To compute the volume of our cylinder, recall that the volume of a cylinder is pi times the radius squared times the height. To compute this, we should be in the same measurements or units, inches. So let's convert 3.5 feet into inches. To do this, first recall that 1/2 as a decimal would be 3.5 feet. So to convert feet to inches, we'll take 3.5 feet and multiply it by a conversion factor, that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. We did this so that the feet measurements or units will cancel, and we're left multiplying 3.5 times 12. Using a TI-83 graphing calculator, we'll multiply 3.5 times 12 to arrive at 42. So the height of this circular cylinder is 42 inches. We're now ready to find the volume of the cylinder. So the volume will be pi, which we'll use as 3.1416, times the radius is 32 inches, so 32 squared, times the height is 42. We can compute this using our TI-83 calculator again. So we'll take 3.1416, multiply it by 32 squared, multiplied by 42. Hitting enter, we arrive at this number, 135,113.9328, which represents the volume that this cylinder contains in cubic inches. So we'll write this as volume equals 135,113.9, rounded to the nearest tenth, cubic inches. So that's how much our cylinder can contain. Our question, though, was how many gallons of water this would hold. We know that there are 231 cubic inches in 1 gallon. So we'll take our volume of 135,113.9 and cubic inches and multiply it by a conversion factor of 1 gallon per 231 cubic inches to find how many gallons. We did this so that the cubic inches will cancel and our result will be in gallons. This means that we're taking 135,113.9 and dividing that by 231. So taking our number and dividing this by 231, we get 584.9088. So this will hold to the nearest gallon 585 rounded to the nearest whole gallon gallons. So this cylinder will contain 585 gallons of water. That's our final answer.